Peace. Thompson this morning. And I just want to show you this video, man. Like, and I had a similar situation like this um with an African lady, but it wasn't as heated as this was though. But I'm just gonna play the video and I'm just gonna, just give a little brief commentary on what I think about it. Okay. All right. So just bear with me. Okay. Disrespectful as hell. Look how she disrespecting this man. So this is what they really think about you. Damn, she talking about his mother. And these are people where we think we from. We think we from Africa. Look, and this is how Africans really think about you. Look, call you trash, low self-esteem. Wow. Look, he asked her why she not in Africa. Look, and that's how a lot of these Africans are. They be looking at you all mad, like they got a fucking attitude. Like, yo, you should walk up on them like, yo, why are you looking at me like that? You should be happy for what we have done for you to even be over here, and these people not lynching your ass. Okay? These people are ungrateful, man. And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, these people do not respect you. I'm not saying all of them, but this is a prime example of how all of, because she probably talked to other Africans. So you think she not talking to other Africans and she not telling them like, how they feel about us over here? You know what I'm saying? And they all probably got that same concept of us. And none of them is thinking about the shit we did for them. Look at this shit. Look, this got earphones on, iPhone. Like, yo, like, look. I'm gonna give you an example of why. These people is not to be trusted. All right. So after she give her little rant, I'm gonna give you an example of how disrespectful she is. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. All right, but yeah. So back to the lady in the video, and like, I'm not saying all Africans. So if there's some Africans who do watch my video, or anybody of African descent or whatever, that's cool. I'm not directing this at you. I'm just directing this at the ignorant ones and the ones who, like, listen. First of all, let's deal with this, right? First of all, for this lady to be here, obviously she had to, like, come here from another country, number one. Number two, like, looking at her, she can easily be considered African American if they don't, if another person really don't know the difference, because some of us Aborigines look different. We don't all look like, what I'm saying, like, we don't all got the same facial structure, put it like that. Whether it's some of us light skin, dark skin, or whatever, but put it like this: most of us all look the same. Like, I can tell the difference from an African and different from a Caribbean, different from a Haitian. Now that I lived around them and I can look at them and I can tell a difference now. But nonetheless, though, just think of it like this, right? Like I said, most of these people just came here within the 2000s and the 90s at best. Most people I speak to only been here for no longer than 12 years, 10, 12 years, the majority of them, right? So understand this, right? You come here, you come to this country, right? Because you think things is free and easily accessible for you, and you are able to tap into these resources. You come here and you think black people's trash. Now, listen, I got videos on all the shit we done been through. You know, if you didn't got to this far in this channel or listen to me up thus far, then you already know as far as where I'm going with this. And I'm not trying to like really preach any separation or anything in that regard, but you gotta really look at it, man. This shit is obvious, and I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to be like any type of, I'm not trying to be racist towards other black people, because I know other black people have struggled. But when they come here, you see how they try to separate themselves from us, and how different than they think they are from us. They think they better than us, and a lot of them feel that way. Like I said, not all of them, but a lot of them. So for first of all, for you to be here, there had to be some civil rights, or we had to fight for something, because they was hanging people, they was killing people, and there wasn't black people getting jobs 30 years ago like they are now. So a lot of these people wasn't coming here when there wasn't no jobs here. Now that the jobs here, they want to come here and take the jobs that they want to take, basically take the jobs away from the Americans that's here. And this is what they do. They do this shit directly. But we think, we don't even know. We think these people are our friends. They didn't come here to help you. So if a black person come here and they feel like that towards you, then what the fuck do that mean? That means they not here with you. And she talks to other Africans. So what do you think that means? That means a lot of them feel that same way. Maybe they might not say it like she said it, but a lot of them feel that same way. Oh, as long as he don't know that we here to get a job. Because think of this too, right? Like she said, she from Kenya. A Kenyan can't go into Nigeria and take a job from a Nigerian. It doesn't work that way. If all Nigerians don't have a job, they gonna call that Kenyan out. They shit. It might get even worse than that, considering what I've seen in Africa dealing with shit like this. You might have got killed over there. You might get killed over there if you go to another country and take a job away from that countryman or whatever. So, you know, we think everybody here to help us. We think we from Africa. We disattach ourselves from this country to where we don't respect the struggle that we've been through. It's nowhere in the world no fucking immigrant supposed to come over here and disrespect any black person or any descendant, any black person saying that, considering what we've been through. For her to come here and say that about us is a smack in the face. And this is what I'm saying, Aboriginal, you gotta stand up, man. You gotta stand up, like really. You know, listen, I'm not saying not to be kind towards people, but you see this shit right here? And you got all these African, you know, Pan-Africans, and you know, these Umar Johnsons, and like I said, I used to listen to a lot of Umar Johnsons and a lot of Sarah Suitsetties and all these guys or whatever, but they are stuck on that fucking African shit, and we are not fucking African. We do not look like Africans, and we are not Africans, and we are not the same as them, and it's obvious. Because you see the obvious hate. They come here and then you don't even know. Okay, like I said, they come here and get everything that you don't got, and they come here strictly to handle business. You see them, they in suits, they here strictly handling business, while we running around here playing games, and we thinking everybody the same, or you thinking you from Africa and you done been lied. So you attach yourself to people who disattach themselves from you and really doesn't give two fucks about you. So for any of you African motherfuckers on Connor's page, or not African motherfuckers, but any of you Aborigines that been classified as African Americans that come to this fucking page, don't come here talking about something. I'm self-hating on any Africans, or I'm saying anything against it, but the proof is in the pudding. And I talk to these people all the fucking time. How do people who just come to this country got all these fucking jobs, and then I see blacks who don't have no jobs? Because the blacks who don't got no jobs are all the ones who was affected by the war on drugs. And I see this shit. I see it. So I know that there's a reason for the reason why we're not, why we didn't, like, why we haven't you know what I'm saying, fully, like all of us, because you don't see none of them lagging around because they wasn't here when the drugs was distributed. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't here. They was in their country going through their oppression or whatever they was going through. Now that it's jobs available, they can come here and live a good life. They don't have to worry about their kids getting on drugs because they don't have a job, because they got plenty of jobs for them to get. And we the ones who can't get jobs. It's always African American. Ain't none of these African. I see plenty of them working. These people could barely speak English or whatever. They got fucking jobs. They go to Chunky. See, they do all this shit, and we sit here and think that there ain't no fucking jobs. If there ain't no jobs, then how the fuck do they get jobs before we get jobs? So like I said, man, I just look at it like I said, for us to be here and for us to been here the longest out of anybody, like I said, listen, you can go into a fucking stadium, arena with full of 100,000 people, and out of all them 100,000 people there, I'm talking about here in North America, you can go in a stadium with 1,000,000 people, 100,000 people. None of them people in that stadium has been on this land longer than you, so that makes you different from a lot of people, and you need to start understanding that. So, like I said, man, just look, man. I'm not trying to spread hate. If there's any Africans on my page that come to my page, listen, you want to unite with us or whatever, or you could be an adversary or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as like trying to just, coerce and see how we can build or how we can like make our community. Because I see a lot of Africans in the community, in my community, and really, and like I said, a lot of them are not from these areas that they are in, and they are very disrespectful. Like they come out yelling, like, yo, I've seen some shit that like me before I was conscious. Now I'm conscious. I look at shit totally different, and I know that it's nowhere immigrant who just got here. Just because you moved there, you should have any. You should be able to say what the fuck you want to say to me. And I've been through all this shit, or well, not me, but my ancestors, and my ancestors gave me a right for me to at least back up their legacy and what they have done. And that's from the people who first, when they first seen these Europeans coming ashore that fort, all the way up to the Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X, the Noble Drew Ali's, the Marcus Garveys, all the people who fought for us in this country. For anyone to come here and disrespect you and not even know who the fuck you are. These Africans and all these other people come in, when they see your ass, they supposed to be fucking happy. Not, they shouldn't be running the other way. They supposed to be happy, because if it wasn't for Brown versus Wade and all, they wouldn't even be able to go to school with the people, these crackers that they be kissing their ass. So if you wouldn't be able to go to school, you wouldn't even need to have to come here. So if we didn't fight for something simple like that, your ass wouldn't even fucking be here going to school. So if you Africans listening, touche, and listen to that, okay? You would not have no jobs if we didn't fight for any of this shit. So I'm tired of this blatant disrespect, and I'm telling Aborigines, you need to start telling these people, like, look, man, like, you don't have no reason to be disrespecting anybody here. You came here and you got jobs that when Americans don't got jobs. I don't give a fuck if you went to school. You should be happy you had an opportunity to go to school. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna touch this one. I'm out. Peace.